Uncertainty. The word alone stirs something in all of us. That invisible space between what we know and what we don't. The tension between who we are and who we're becoming. The human mind fears it, yet the soul craves it. Because uncertainty is not the obstacle. It is the real journey. We spend our lives trying to eliminate it. We build plans, routines, predictions, anything to escape the unpredictable. We convince ourselves that safety lies in knowing what comes next. But deep down, we know. The moments that changed us most were the ones we couldn't prepare for. The moments when we were lost, unsure, scared, and yet somehow alive. Every great transformation begins with not knowing. The seed doesn't know what it will become when it cracks open in the dark. The caterpillar doesn't know the sky exists. And yet, both surrender to the uncertainty of becoming. That's the paradox. To evolve, you must first dissolve. And in dissolving, you lose all certainty. The truth is, uncertainty is sacred. It's not chaos, it's creation in motion. It's the blank canvas of life before the first brushstroke. It's the silence before the song, the stillness before the first step. Everything new, every possibility, every destiny is born there. But because the human mind hates the unknown, it mistakes uncertainty for danger. It resists. It clings to control. It holds its breath where it should be breathing. When you resist uncertainty, you resist life, because life is never static. It is a current. It moves, bends, shifts, breaks, and rebuilds. The illusion of stability we cling to is just that, an illusion. The river doesn't apologize for changing course. The seasons don't ask permission to transform. Why then do we feel guilty for not having everything figured out? The mind craves direction, but the soul thrives in discovery. The difference between the two is faith, not religious faith, but the kind that comes from inner knowing. Faith is the willingness to walk even when the path disappears beneath your feet. It's the quiet whisper that says, "Keep going." Something is forming. When you embrace uncertainty, you stop trying to force clarity. You stop fighting for answers and start listening to what's unfolding. You realize that not knowing isn't a void. It's potential. It's where creativity, growth, and miracles happen. Every great idea, every revolution, every breakthrough, all came from someone willing to stand in the unknown and trust the process. But society doesn't teach us this. It teaches us to fear uncertainty, to label it as failure, to replace curiosity with control. We measure success by how certain we are, not by how alive we feel. And in doing so, we forget that certainty is just repetition. It's the past replaying itself. There's no evolution there. The soul, however, seeks expansion. It thrives where the predictable ends. The moment you let go of needing to know, something magical happens. Awareness expands. The mind stops running, and the heart begins to guide. You begin to see signs, patterns, synchronicities. The universe starts to whisper, and you finally have the silence to hear it. That's when uncertainty stops being fear and starts becoming adventure. There's a difference between being lost and being open. When you're lost, you believe there's somewhere else you're supposed to be. When you're open, you understand that here, this moment, this breath, this unknown, is the journey itself. Life doesn't happen after you figure it out. Life happens because you don't. We think control brings peace. But have you noticed? The more you try to control, the more anxious you become. The more you release, the calmer you feel. Peace doesn't come from certainty. It comes from surrender. Not passive surrender, but the courageous kind. The kind that says, "I don't know where this is going, but I trust I'll find out when I'm meant to." And that's the essence of all spiritual awakening. stepping into the unknown with open eyes. The masters, the mystics, the visionaries, they didn't have guarantees. They had faith in motion. They understood that uncertainty was not a mistake in the design. It was the design. Because only uncertainty can shape you into someone new. When you finally stop fighting the unknown, you stop shrinking from your own becoming. You realize the uncertainty you fear is the same energy that's trying to create your next version. Every ending you mourn, every plan that falls apart, every door that closes, all of it is the universe rearranging itself for your evolution. Sometimes life breaks your certainty to rebuild your clarity. Sometimes it takes away what you know to give you who you are. Every loss, every detour, every unknown is a message. There's something more. The journey is never about arriving. It's about becoming someone who can keep walking, even when the map burns in your hand. And maybe that's what true freedom is. Not having every answer, but having the courage to ask better questions. Not clinging to what you know, but trusting the mystery to teach you more. Because the mystery is never against you. It's your greatest teacher in disguise. We live in a culture obsessed with results, but the soul only cares about experience. It doesn't ask, did you succeed? It asks, did you awaken? It doesn't care how far you went, only how deeply you lived. And the deeper you go, the more uncertain it gets. Because the deeper you go, the less your old self can survive. So stop waiting for certainty before you move. Start moving and let certainty form around you. The map doesn't appear before the journey. It appears because you start walking. That's how creation works. You don't find clarity and then act. You act, and clarity finds you. The next time life feels uncertain, pause and breathe. Remember that everything you fear about the unknown is a story the mind tells to keep you safe. But you're not here to stay safe. You're here to stay alive. Safety may comfort the body, but uncertainty awakens the soul. And that awakening, that trembling edge of not knowing, is where all beauty begins. When the fog is thickest, it's not the end. It's the beginning of new sight. When the path disappears, it's not punishment. It's permission to discover a new one. The universe hides its greatest treasures where the light doesn't reach, and only those brave enough to walk into the dark ever find them. So don't curse the uncertainty. Don't rush through it. Don't numb it. Stand in it. Feel it. Observe it. Because it's shaping you into something that certainty never could. It's stripping away everything false, everything rigid, everything small, until only the essential remains. You are not lost. You are being remade. And every time you say, I don't know, the universe smiles. Because finally, you're ready to learn. Uncertainty is not a detour from your path. It is the path. It's the pulse of evolution, the rhythm of creation, the true heartbeat of awakening. So walk with faith, breathe with courage, let the unknown hold you, and remember, the moment you stop trying to escape uncertainty, you become one with life itself. Because the uncertainty is the real journey. Subscribe to Limitless Shift, where awakening begins and certainty ends.